Hello and welcome back. Today we are talking about the science paper. This is the walkthrough for the science of paper assignment. And what this is really just about your opportunity to learn more in depth about something you thought was interesting from the disappearing spoon. And for those of you who are like, there was nothing interesting in the disappearing spoon, find something, right? The only thing that is boring about this is if you choose something that you're not interested in. Right, there are lots of different things you could write about. You can look at the history of how an element was discovered, how an element or a compound is used, the feuds between science, the different scientists. There's all kinds of different things. All those assignments where I asked you to talk about what were things that you thought was interesting in chapters 1 through 3, what did you think was interesting about, something that was interesting in chapters 4 through 7, right? Those questions were designed to help you think about what did you think was interesting as you were going along, so that when you got to this assignment, you'd be like, oh yeah, I thought blah 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 was interesting, and maybe I'll go find out some more about that. Right? The purpose of this assignment is for you to write a literature review. Now, a literature review is generally what is written before somebody does a study. So if you study, a scientist wants to know how, I don't know, how salt and water react, right? Then the scientist would go and find out all the different research that's already been written about how salt and water react, and we'll find out that generally what happens when you put table salt and water together is that the table salt dissolves into the water and turns into salt water. And so at that point, the scientist is like, well, everybody already knows that, so maybe I'll go find a new topic. All right. And so a literature review is just what is already known about blah, whatever that is. All right, and it is objective, right? It's just a summary of a whole variety of sources. So X author said blah, blah, blah about this topic. Y author said blah, blah, blah about this topic. Okay. How you decide to organize your information depends on your research question. Now you're going to have to formulate a research question. So for me, the example that I gave you is about Lise Meitner, right? And what I wanted to know was, well, what was she doing after she got snubbed for the Nobel Peace Prize, not Nobel Peace Prize, the Nobel Prize, because her partner got it and she didn't get the credit that she deserved. Right, and she was nominated a bunch of times afterwards for the Nobel Prize and still never won it. And so I was curious, what else did she do since then? Right, what was she working on in the 20 years between getting snubbed and when she died? Right, and so my research question is about that. Every source has to be introduced, right, and so you should be dead familiar with that because I've been having you practice with it with summaries, according to author and title, main idea, more details, right? It's just a summary, so you get to do a bunch of summaries of your different sources. Okay, so if you know how to do MLA citation, feel free to do that. Don't be afraid to show off what you know about how to cite MLA for citation. That is an extra credit opportunity for this. So some requirements: 3 to 5 pages, 7 to 10 sources from a variety of source types. So you have books, journal articles, internet interviews, maybe you know a scientist, right, and you could interview that person. That could be cool. All right, should be written in third person. So third person is no, I, me, my, we, our, us, you, your, y'all, right? None of those. He, she, it, they. Them's your pronouns. Okay? Your introduction should bring the reader into the topic. Why was this topic chosen? Why is this topic interesting? Right? Not just to you, but just sort of in general. What about it was like, I think I'd like to know a little bit more about this. Right? The research presented should be unbiased. So again, it's just, this is what the author said, this is what the author said. Right? Conclusion should answer the research question. So by the end, if your my research question is about Lise Meitner and what was she doing after she first got snubbed for the Nobel Prize, before she died, right? That's what I wanted to know. And then, so by the end, I should have an answer after I've done all this research. I should know. In 20 years, this is what she accomplished. This is what she did. It's the so what. So, so what's the answer? So why is this important? All right, should be free of grammatical errors, of course. MLA format. And again, if you are still losing points on MLA format, that is low-hanging fruit. Stop doing that. Right? You have examples. You know how to do this. You should be able to. All right. Research general, these general education goals, these course outcomes. All right, and the important part to students, the grading. All right, so again, proficient is the 100 out of 100. Advanced is your extra credit opportunity. So you're proficient. It should be a narrow research question, right? You shouldn't be like, what is silver? Right? Because that's pretty broad. But what are antiseptic properties of silver? All right, narrows that question much more. All right. The introduction should be interesting, explains how the topic was chosen. So it has to be both engaging and you have to explain how the topic was chosen. If you don't do both of those, you start losing points. 7 sources, they're used and introduced correctly. So again, the signal phrase, name of author, name of article, main idea, summary. All right, the research presentation is objective, summarized, easy to read. Conclusion ties back to your introduction, back to the why it's interesting, and answers the question and explains the so what of the research. So you have to do all of those things. All right, you'll notice this tightens up. All right, now we're down to 1 to 6 before freebies. 7 to 9 loses you some points. 10 or more, big fat goose egg. All right, and then here's your MLA format. All right, so that's what I'm looking for from you. The big thing where students tend to have trouble here in this assignment is the research question. All right, and about literature review. So let me sort of go over those a little bit more in depth. All right, so research question. All right, here's quick Google advice. All right, it provides enough specifics to one's audience to easily understand its purpose without needing additional explanation. All right, and how do you write one? All right, so what is the topic? All right, what do you want to know about the topic? That's really important. All right, it's a question of, well, what happened? What, who, what, when, where, why? Those kinds of questions will help you decide what you want to know. All right, turn that into a question. Ensure it's answerable, so it can't just be, was Lise Meitner disappointed in her failure to get the Nobel Prize? Well, yeah, probably, right? But it's not answerable because she's dead. We can't just have a seance and ask, right? I suppose we could, but it's not really reliable data, right? And check to make sure the question is not too broad or too narrow. So it has to be answerable, but it has to be not super broad. So you got to find your balance there. All right, so those are some of the things you need for a good research question. And your book, your Read to Write, Writing to Read, Chapter 9, has a whole section on research question. Pay attention to that specifically. All right, literature review. I did a quick Google search on that. It's a survey of scholarly sources, right? Written part as a thesis, dissertation, research paper, right? Because it tells us what is already known about the topic before you even do the research. All right. And it's got some examples. All right. So use evidence. All right. Be selective. Use quotes sparingly. Listen, don't use quotes at all. Everything should be summarized. All right. Keep your own voice. All right. These are the things you want to do. All right. I'm asking you in this assignment to really sort of pull together all the pieces of things that we've worked on this semester. All right. I'm asking you to practice your summary skills, again, a lot. I'm asking you to practice your editing skills, again, a lot. I'm asking you to find research and be able to go through the research and do the reading comprehension on that, again, a lot. All right, all the different skills that we've worked on this semester are going to come together in this assignment. All right, and I have every faith that you have the ability to do this. All right, if you have questions, again, please do not be afraid to email me. I am happy to answer questions. We are all stranded at home. please ask me questions and save me from gardening. All right, talk to you later. Bye.